Hello everyone, so before I start on this video, I want to thank Mr. Gamer 990, my brother, not literally, but you know what I mean, my brother Yusuf, for letting me know that there was some audio issues in the last video, so this is the re-uploaded version. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the basic information. Her full name is Kathleen Maurice Amell. The meaning behind her name Kathleen is pure. Her titles: Warden Constable, 1/3 of the Queen's Magical Advisors, Lady Amell. Her personality: sweet, aggressive, confident, protective, stubborn, dutiful, orderly, sociable, and modest. Her date of birth: October 14th, 905 Dragon. A timeline of her age: 18 to 20 from Dragon Age Origins to Awakening, 20 to 28 from Dragon Age Awakening to Dragon Age 2, 28 to 38 from Dragon Age 2 to Dragon Age Inquisition. Kathleen resides in Denerim Ferelden, Hightown Kirkwall, and she'll occasionally reside in Skyhold. Her triggers are depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. Her love interest is Anders. Appearance: her race: human. Height: 5'9". Hair color: blonde. Hair length: long. Eye color: brown. Lip color: pale pink. Skin: fair tanned. Her armor: Warden Battle Mage armor. Weapon: Winter's Breath. Off-duty attire: navy blue gown, golden colored gown, and fern green gown. Her off-duty at-home attire is Amell finery. Abilities: Spirit Healer, Life Ward, Cleansing Aurora, Revival, and Group Heal. Primal: Earthquake, Stonefist, Inferno, and Tempest. Creation: Heal, Regeneration, Mass Rejuvenization, Hero Offense, and Haste. Spirit: Spell Shield, Walking Bomb, Mind Blast, Mana Clash, and Dispel Magic. Entropy is Weakness, Drain Life, Disorient, Death Hex, Curse of Morality, Death Cloud, and Horror. Now, time to the family. Mother: Rebecca Amell. Father: unnamed father. Siblings: Alan Jaden Amell, her twin brother, and 3 unnamed younger siblings. Aunts: Bethan Walker Amell. Uncles: Astrid Amell and Damien Amell. Grandparents: Faustian Amell, who's the grandfather. Cousins: Leandra Amell, once removed. Malcolm Hawke, once removed and deceased, as well as Leandra. Gamlin Amell, Mara Hartling, Chardes Amell. Hera Hawke, once removed, deceased. Garrett Hawke, once removed. Bethany Hawke, once removed. Carver Hawke, once removed. Alright, now time for the full biography. Kathleen Amell is the firstborn child of Rebecca Amell. At the age of 5, Kathleen was sent off to the Ferelden Circle of Magi due to her magic. At the circle, Kathleen met 2 fellow mages, Celine and Charon, who quickly befriended them. This friendship continued throughout the years, even to this day. Later on, they met another mage named Jaden, who turned out to be a blood mage. After the events of Lily and Jaden's attempted escape, Kathleen was taken into the Grey Wardens, being forced to leave Caron and Celine behind, though their friendship didn't stop there. Eventually, they reunited when Kathleen, Chloe, Cusland, Alistair, and Wynne returned to the Ferelden Circle to seek support of the mages to see that it had been overrun. Kathleen quickly became concerned for Celine and Caron, thinking they had been killed by one of the abominations. Thankfully, as Kathleen searched the tower, killing every abomination in sight, she reunited with Celine and Caron. The three best friends defeated the rest of the abominations and saved the tower. The horrid sight of the mages she once knew turned into abominations and blood mages made her have a strong distaste for blood magic. When the group returned to the Templars, Kathleen conscripted Celine and Caron. She also had the mages' support when facing the archdemon. Although Celine and Caron were conscripted, Kathleen never turned them into a Grey Warden, in fear of them dying from the taint. From that point forward, Caron and Celine continued to travel together. Together alongside Chloe, Alistair, and the others, they successfully acquired assistance from the Redcliffe Castle, the Dalish, and dwarves to fight the archdemon. When they arrived at Redcliffe, they found that it was under attack by undead every night. Kathleen didn't want the village to suffer, so she and her companions agreed to help in their time of need. When they successfully pushed back the undead, she and Bantigan went to deal with yet another issue, the poisoning of Erimond and the Arl's son, Connor, being possessed by the demon. Bantigan gave Kathleen the ring, which gives her access to the secret passage into the castle. When they reached to the dungeon, Kathleen found her former friend Jaden locked in a cell. After a few minutes of Jaden explaining why he's locked up, Kathleen decided to leave him there. She had no interest in helping him again. When they reached Connor and dealt with the undead he unleashed within the castle, they came to the conclusion that they needed to deal with the demon controlling him. Isolde had one of the guards fetch Jaden to come up with a solution. Jaden suggested doing a blood ritual, which was quickly declined as Kathleen refused to do any sort of blood magic, especially after what Jaden did. Alistair suggested back to the Circle of Magi to get more mages to go into the Fade and defeat the demon, which Kathleen agreed on. After Kathleen acquired the mages, she went into the Fade and defeated the desired demon. After that, all that was left was the Arl and his sickness. After the success of gathering the Redcliffe troops to defeat the archdemon, Kathleen went to the Dalish for their support, only to find that they had demon issues of their own. A sickness plagued them, as well as constant attacks from the werewolves. Kathleen and Keeper Zathrian came to an agreement. If Kathleen dealt with the werewolves, she would get the Dalish's support against the blight. However, when Kathleen investigated the matter, she realized that Zathrian was the one who created the sickness and the werewolf curse. When Kathleen met the Lady of the Forest, She agreed to bring Zathrian to her so the situation could be resolved peacefully. Alas, this was proven to be unsuccessful, as Zathrian made Kathleen choose between him and the Lady of the Forest. Although she felt a small bit of pity, Kathleen sided with the Lady of the Forest, which Zathrian chose to fight her for the decision. After Zathrian was slain and the curse was gone, Kathleen made her way back to the Dalish camp to meet with the new keeper, Lyanna, who agreed to help Kathleen against the Blight. In Orzammar, Kathleen found that it was, as expected, in the midst of chaos. They were bickering over a new king after the death of the former king, Endrin Adukin. Kathleen had to assist either Balin or Pyrrol Erimond to seize the throne, which she chose to side with Balin Adukin to become the next king. In order for him to become the next king, Kathleen had to fight in his honor within the Proving. Her next task was to clear out the Cardo that was causing trouble within Orzammar. The third and final task she had to do was find Paragon Branca to make it all official. Before Kathleen entered the deep roads, she was approached by a dwarf named Ogren. He was looking into the whereabouts of Branca and asked if he could come along, which Kathleen accepted. After they ventured into the deep roads, they found that Branca sacrificed her whole house to the Darkspawn in order to get to the Anvil of the Void. After hearing both sides, Kathleen sided with Caradon. After the battle, Kathleen was given the crown, crafted by Caradon himself to give whomever she chose in the election. When she got back to Orzammar, she gave the crown to Balin Adukin. With a new king on the throne, the Grey Warden successfully obtained another ally against the Darkspawn. As for the Landsmeet, Kathleen prepared to come face to face with the treacherous Logain Mactir. Prior to the Landsmeet, Kathleen and her companions had to save Queen Honora Mactir from Arahal, the same man who slaughtered Cloet's parents, sister-in-law, and nephew, then stole her home. It was time for Kathleen to help her dear friend and fellow Grey Warden seek justice against the man. Kathleen had assistance from Honora's handmaiden, Alara. They snuck into the estate and went into the dungeon, undetected by the guards, with their disguises. Upon entering the dungeon, they had met a fellow Grey Warden, Royden. Kathleen was informed that How captured him when he, Roden, lost contact with the Ferelden Grey Wardens and went to Denerim to find answers. Once he was freed, Kathleen went back to focusing on her task, finding How and slaying him. As she continued further within the dungeon, she found more innocent people captured. These people were Osiwen Sigurd of Dragon's Peak, Rexel, Soris, and Sir Emmerich Erimond. She freed these men, along with getting support against Logain in the Landsmeet. After that, Kathleen and her companions made their way to How, eventually slaying him for his treacherous crimes, along with the mage that had the magical barrier in front of Queen Honora's door, preventing her from escaping. When they returned to the Queen Honora, they began to make their way out of the estate. only to have Logain's henchman, Kall Arinne, waiting for them alongside half a dozen guards. Obviously, being outnumbered, Kathleen chose to surrender instead of killing her, as that would only make her. It would only give ammunition against it would only give Logain more ammunition against her. Only Kathleen and Cloet were jailed at Fort Dragon. At Fort Dragon, Kathleen faked an illness to get the guard to come inside the jail cell to see what the commotion was, only to ambush him and kill him to get the key. Once free, they retrieved all their belongings from a nearby chest. The two would sneak through the fort, which led them to stumble across extra guard armor. They decided to use the armor as a disguise to get past the other guards. When they reached the colonial's office, which was guarded, it was required for them to tell them the password and to proceed past the door. Eventually, they fooled two guards into following them, claiming that there was an inspection about to happen. Instead of leading them to the regulation swords, Kathleen and Cloet lead them to a disclosed location and murder them, stealing the list of passwords. When they returned to the colonial's office and gave the guards the correct password to proceed. With their disguises, they were able to leave the fort without bloodshed. When they returned to Erimond's estate, there was yet another matter to attend to in the elven alienage. Anora suspected that her father, Logain, was up to something that involved the elves, and it was up to Kathleen to get to the bottom of it. Quick pause, I need a drink. Within the alienage, Kathleen found out that there was an apparent plague going around, and Tevinter mages were keeping multiple elves within the hospice. Shiani, one of the elves, told Kathleen of her suspicions and what she believed the Tevinter mages' real motives were, which Kathleen told her she would look into the matter. Kathleen went to confront the Tevinter mages, ending up picking a fight with them and slaughtering them. Kathleen picked up the key to the hospice and went inside the building. What she found was unnerving, as she found perfectly fine elves caged like wild animals. Kathleen freed the trapped elves and returned to Shiani, where she informed Kathleen that there could be more elves that were captured in the apartments. Kathleen didn't hesitate on heading to the apartments to find the elves. Upon investigating the apartments, Kathleen and her companions found out the truth. There was no plague, and they were kidnapping elves to force them into slavery. With this new information, Kathleen would be able to free the elves that were being held captive in the warehouse not too far from the apartments. Kathleen slaughtered every Tevinter mage and guard that was in her way from the elves. She then found the man responsible. It was a Tevinter blood mage named Kall Arinne. The pitiful excuse of the man explained to her that it was Logain who allowed him to capture the elves for slavery, which followed in him trying to strike a bargain with Kathleen that involved blood magic. Kathleen harshly refused the deal, killing the man instead. With the Tevinter blood mage dead, Kathleen freed the remaining elves before leaving the warehouse. Kathleen gathered the slave papers from the Tevinter mage for evidence against Logain. Upon returning to Erimond's estate within Denerim, Kathleen brought all the information to Queen Anora and Erimond, along with her other companions. They were all disgusted with what they found, that a man like Logain would stoop that low. But it was evident that they needed to put an end to Logain's reign of terror. When the Archdemon was defeated, Cloet was promoted to Warden Commander of Ferelden and Queen of Ferelden. She ruled with Alistair. Kathleen was promoted to Warden Constable. Her nobility status was restored, and she was given the title of 1/3 of the Queen's magical advisors, along with Selene and Charon. Kathleen continued to travel with Selene and Charon, dealing with their cousins during the time of Dragon Age 2. When she was in Kirkwall, she got Gamlen out of his addiction and had his nobility restored. During the ending of Dragon Age 2, when Anders blew up the Chantry, Kathleen also took him back to Denerim, where she managed to separate Anders and Justice, and gave Justice to Kirkwall, as she stated that Justice was the one behind the bombing of the Chantry. Years after the Civil War began in Kirkwall, Selene, Charon, and Kathleen were given instructions by Cloet Cuslin to be bodyguards for King Alistair to inspect the Inquisition and help them while Cloet dealt with the regular businesses of being queen. Since then, they assisted the Inquisition. During Kathleen's time within the Inquisition, she found out that she had a twin brother that was still alive, Alan Jaden Amell. She reunited with him during this time, immediately having a good relationship after being awkward at first due to being caught off guard with this discovery. Kathleen also has a dog, Mabari Warhound, that she cured at Ostagar, and she named him Junos. So, that is the story of my OC, Kathleen Amell. If you want to see the story behind Kathleen and Anders' relationship, which I will get into more detail, or if you want to hear the story of Alan, please let me know, or any of the other OCs that I have, like Elda Shepherd. I also have Caspar Loren, a Templar, well, former Templar actually. I have, let's see what else, I would say Autumn, but I kind of already covered her, but I can do Ember. I can do Hera Hawke. But yeah, or I could do Zuka, Marai Nelson, and any of them. But if you want to see any of them in a sort of video like this, please let me know in the comments down below. And I also want to thank Mr. Gamer 990 once again for letting me know about the audio issues. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do. You know what to do. Alright, I'll see you all later in the next video. Bye!